Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we start another build. This time it's another gasser, the 1955 Chevy Bel Air. Who's it for? Why are we doing it? What are we going to do to it? Stick around and find out. Again, welcome back to the channel. This particular build is going to be for the Kustomizer Diecast. Yes, you've all seen him. He's in everybody's comments. He's doing a wonderful thing on Instagram where he's doing raffles and everything. He's actually given me the idea to maybe try to do one, build a custom, put it on there and let people enter to win it, basically, is what they'd be doing. But with that said, this is for him, so first thing we need to do is get it out of the pack. And there's a reason that I chose this particular one, because I have the other one, or another one. I have that one also. But the idea for the paint job I have will not look good with this card art. I'm going to save the paint and the decals. Yes, this card will have decals for later. I don't want to give it away just yet. You got to watch to find out. But we need to get this out first, so let's start with that. Starting to work. She's starting to work. Getting wet around the edges. Shouldn't be long now. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others. Come on, darling. Come on. Here we go. Pulled a little bit of the paper. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm free. I'm free. Funny how these things look so much better not in the pack, but as you can see on the back side, the template was really starting to mess up anyway. So with that stated, let's fix this to where it won't seal back up and move on to the next step. Right away, that there, put that, and the oil. Alright, so let's take a look at the base. Two rivets, two nice size rivets, so this ought to go pretty smooth. Nice metal flake white paint job. I can already see some marks in the top though. I might have to fill that and sand it. We'll see when we get her stripped down. But that's the first thing, we gotta get it stripped down. So as always, a little dab of oil. It helps keep the bit cool, helps keep the bit sharp. And get our bit. And this one already has a pretty good pilot hole, but as always, I'm going to drill it a little deeper. Back, we have plenty of room. Front, we'll have to watch it. There's the back. Now if we can get the front to bust loose. Not much holding it, but it's funny how the last little bit always gets you. Alright, there we go. I'm not quite sure about these gold wheels just yet, so I'm going to leave these on. I'm going to leave those on just until I get done. I may end up leaving those because of the paint job I have in mind. Ooh, that's gold. Windows in great shape. And see, there's not much room for drilling and tapping, but we're going to do it anyway. Back's got plenty. That front, on the other hand, that ain't going to work. I wish I had some of those velocity stacks for this. We'll work with that later. Alright, let's straighten this up just a little bit. As you guys all know, I like to use screws. If you don't want to, that's totally your choice. Totally your option. It is well within your rights as diecast creators. There is no right, there is no wrong. It's just something I like to do. Let's try that. Oh yeah, it goes on now real easily. Look at that. And it won't never go on anywhere. It'll go right about to it because of the interior. But I just want to make sure that I won't have any troubles with it later. Alright, I've got it drilled and tapped out. And I know that this... About time to order some more screws. I don't even like getting low. I know this front post is not going to be deep enough for a screw. But with that stated, when it comes time to worry about that, I will cut the screw. I can grind it down, I can put a washer on it, whatever I need to do. But for right now, as you all know, this just helps hold in the, this just gives the helping hand something to hold on to. As you can see, by the time I put the base on and the interior on, that might work out just right. We'll know when we get there, won't we? But now that we have it this far, give it one nice last look over. As you can see, it's a beautiful casting. The decals are great. I love the colors. 52nd anniversary. Got the brake booster and the reservoir there, and you know, it's just an overall nice casting. But I think we're going to do better. I have some casting lines that I see that I'm going to take off whenever I do this on the top, because you can see there's nothing there hardly. Over here there's plenty. This will not be a Spectra Flame, it will be a paint and a primer. So I'm going to get rid of those lines. Probably that line right there, that line right there, and probably smooth up these on the front just a little bit, just because. And you know, there'll be some detailing involved, the headlights, the tail lights, as always. But this is going to be, I'm going to give you a hint of what this is going to be. It's going to be a ode to 2020, if you will. You know, 2020 was a super bad year for everybody. You know, I hope none of us ever have to go through that again. And we're just going to pay homage to 2020. As bad as it was, we're going to make something out of 2020. So let's get this in the stripper. Got the North Carolina red clay here, and all this. You're going to be amazed at the paint job that I put on there. I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be very similar to this. It's going to be different, but it's going to be similar, none the same. And well, here we go. This car almost won't fit. She's done run off the track, the drag strip, and she is getting sunk up. Next time you see this, it'll be ready to be hit with the Scotch-Brite or steel wool, and I don't know, we might hit it with the polisher just to see how it gives us a finished product. But she's gone for tonight. You will see this again next time without any paint on her. Alright, I need that, and that. We got her out of the stripper. She's looking pretty good. Got some leftover residue and stuff, and we got to clean out the cracks. And let's just get it cleaned up and see what the overall casting looks like. It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. Might need to do some filing here and there. Don't know. We'll find out here in just a minute, won't we? So let's get to it. First thing I like to do is always go around all the crevices and the cracks and stuff. Make sure I get everything out of all the grooves. Alright, let's see what we got to work with. Doesn't look too bad. There's some marks on it. There's a casting line right across the trunk. We're going to get rid of that. Looks like some casting lines right here. We'll try to take care of that too. Outside of that, it doesn't look too bad other than those couple marks. The paint job that I'm going to put on this doesn't require it to be ultra smooth anyway, but you know, we want it to look halfway decent. So we'll take care of that one. We'll take care of that one, and that one along the back of the trunk. As you can see, that one on the back of the trunk is a nasty one. Goes all the way across and down the sides. I don't know how good I'll be able to get it, but we're going to work on it. But let's work on this top one first, just to see if we can get some of it gone. Next up, we hit it with a little bit of sandpaper to take down the filing marks that we made. Looking pretty good. You can still see a couple right there and a couple right there, but the primer will take care of 99.9% of that, and then the paint that we put on top of it will also. But if there's anything we can see real good or feel, you'll want to hit it with some kind of filler. But this is just, you know, I've seen worse. See, that's a factory mark, and those are worse than what I put on there, so I think I can live with that. Now I just got to straighten up the back, see how that looks. But just a couple little seconds with the sandpaper will get that to looking really good. Alright, let's spray this down with alcohol, get all that dirt off of there from sanding and everything. Look at that, that just run off of there. That's not even wiped off of there. Which this will get degreased before we prime it, paint it anyway, but I just want to get most of it off of here so that I can put this putty on and make her look good. But all I'm going to do is mix up the putty, and this is actually something that I got for another project, but it actually worked pretty good. I'm just going to build it up right there. And then come back after a while and sand it off. Today's the day. We're going to get this bad boy primed. We've got it all clean. I just got done degreasing it. I've let it air dry. So now let's take it outside and get this bad boy primed up. We're going to be priming it in white. And there's no need in me showing you the process on this. You've seen it 1,000 times before. So we'll be right back, right? Yes, sir. There it is. Already primed up. Don't you love magic? But see, we've got that all primed up and everything. Got the body ready to go. Now I'm waiting on decals, and that's going to determine the next step of paint, because I've got 2 paint ideas and I'm not going to give it away just yet, but waiting on the decals. That should be here tomorrow or the day after. Have the interior primed up, because that gold just was not going to work with what I have in mind, and I'm still not certain about what I'm going to do about the color and stuff. But I've got a few ideas. Again, it depends on that. So we've got that done. I've got the base all ready to go. Alright, for the decals I have for this thing, I'm going to have to do a fade job. So I'm going to start somewhere right around here and go over the top and down the other side with a gray that I mixed myself. So I'm going to fade that back, and then I'll hit the back end with black after I give it time to dry, and then we've got to do the base too. So with that stated, let's get to doing the gray. As I said, I've got it already mixed up. That should be enough. It's already mixed up and everything. And let's say we're just going to start somewhere around right here and just go over at an angle. Make sure it's coming out, and it is. That's about all we want. Just keep doing that until it gets on there and it's nice and coated. We can use the air out of our air gun to dry it, because this is a acrylic water-based paint, so you can just dry it. You can see I'm almost back to the recorder there, and I'm not here, so and when we get it about where we want it, we'll stop. But that's what I'm looking for right there, a transition, a light gradient from there to dark, and then back. And then the back half will be covered in black. So that's exactly what I'm looking for there. So we've got that finished. That color pattern, I'm wanting to do the bottom in kind of like a candy apple red base, So I'm going to paint the base with gold to start with, gold flakes from Createx, and we're going to see how that goes. So get it all mixed up. I hope I've got enough done. We will find out here shortly. Hit it with a tack coat, and then we'll come back and really hit it here in just a minute, make it nice and gold. Alright, we've waited a few minutes, now let's hit it again. As you can see, it's starting to turn a nice, dark, blackish gold, because we put it over a black base. So that's working out perfect. Alright, so here's what we got. We got the body, white on front, fade to a gray, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it's gray, going down both sides and along the top. And then this back part we'll hit with black. So we're not looking for 100% coverage, we're just looking for the fade. And then we hit it with black, like I said, then we'll come back and hit it with a clear, put the decals on, hit it with clear again. And here's the base. It turned out really nice. Now all I've got to do is let that dry, let it cure, and hit it with the blood red. As you can see, that's a very metallic-y gold. So we'll let that cure overnight, hit it with the black, the red over the top of that, and that'll give us the candy apple.
24 hours later.
Alright, one of the first things we're going to do is hit the base. Remember, we painted this one gold yesterday, and look how nice and gold that joker really is. But the color we're going to be putting on that is blood red. Yes, I really like this color, so that's why we're using it. And hopefully, by the time that I spray it on there with it going over the gold, it will give it the candy apple red look. Look at that, looks just like blood. Ugh. Hopefully it will give it that look that we're looking for. Coming out nice. As always, light tack coats. And we're going to build up to the color we want. Oh yes, look at how good that is looking. And then when I put a coat of clear over that, oh my goodness, that will look so good. With the decals I'm using, and with the car I'm using, and the paint colors on the car, it's going to look stunning, I do believe. Alright, now for the next step on this bad boy. As you can see, we got it faded from white to gray. Now we need to go from gray to black on the back half. So let's blow the dust off. Make sure there's nothing on it. I've got the black already mixed up. And it's not that much black that we're going to be doing, so I don't need that much black. Make sure everything's okay. Yep, spraying out fine. And then there's really not much to it, just kind of spray it. You kind of want to hit it at an angle. And like always, hit it in light coats. And then build it up. There's no right or wrong way to do a fade. You just play it by ear. The main thing is you want it to be halfway faded the same all the way across the car. See how I have it right there in front of the rear quarters on this side, but not on that side, so need to bring it in just a little bit like so. Alright, we're getting close to the finish. We're going to take this and we're going to put these on it. So let's get to it. First thing we got to do, of course, is cut everything out. So we'll cut as close as we can, but not too close. If you cut too close, you can actually mess some stuff up. So I get my fingers in these scissors. And this is a clear backing, so I don't have to worry about that border showing. Like I said, I just want to cut close. I'm not trying to get exact. And this one goes up on the roof. That's the mean old COVID trying to cancel him rather than him cancel us. But I don't think we're doing too good of a job. But I picked these decals just as a homage to all of us fellow collectors and customizers being locked down in the house, not being able to do anything, not go anywhere. And it's just the whole way 2020 has went. So that's why I chose these. And I want to do something unique, something different than everybody else is doing. Alright, here we go. Take one final look at it before we put it together. Got all the decals on the bad boy. Got clear coat on it. Looking good. Just giving one final once over. I painted the tail lights. Hit the door handle real lightly, but I didn't want to take away from the lettering. Did the turn signals. Did the radiator. I used one of the COVID decals for each one of the headlights. Painted the master cylinder caps. And yeah, it's now ready to go back together. So next time you see this will be in just a second. all nice and shiny. So just as a recap, this is what we started with. The Kustomizer Diecast has been asking everyone for a Lamborghini or a gasser. Well, now he's getting both, and he don't know he's getting either one, from me anyway. With that stated, this is what we started with. It was just the 52nd, I think they call it the Chrome and Gold Anniversary Series, something like that. And I picked it because of the cardboard art. It will go real good with this paint job. And here's the final result. This is what we ended up with. Hope you enjoyed it, and it'll be in the card art at the very end. Thank you so very much for watching.